Okay, we're live on YouTube. Can somebody confirm, please? Anybody on YouTube right now? Okay, good afternoon to everyone. I hope YouTube is going good live. I can't see it from here. I'm using the link for Zoom. So hopefully everything goes well there. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm sorry we had to move the webinar to today, but tomorrow I wouldn't be around, and I thought I would just use the time today to do it for you guys so you can watch the recording. Those who will miss it will watch it tomorrow. All right, let's go. I'm going to go through pretty fast, and those of you in here, if you have questions, we can do that in 10 minutes. All right. So before I start, I hope all of you made money last week. Everything went wonderful. If you didn't make money on anything, you should have made money on silver, right? At least that should have made you money because it's working. Another thing you probably need to know is that I don't know if I've been giving this warning out forever, so I'm not sure whether, I should. There are a lot of spammers out there. There's some of them who probably even don't know who I am, or they know who I am. They're trying to troll me. One guy came, hey, I'm an editor and I can teach you. I'm like, no, thank you. You probably need to learn yourself. So I guess he's in my room every week. You're welcome. Even if you want to troll, you're welcome. You would learn something and you will make money. I welcome even the ones who want to troll because they will make money when they come. They will learn something. Like the guys who just made money, James made a lot of money, and a lot of you have already said you've had a good week because there's only one thing that actually helps you make good forecasts, and that is analyzing the chart correctly. And there's only one method you can use to analyze it correctly. That's wave analysis. If you're using anything else, you have no idea what you're doing. Literally, you have no idea what you're doing. And that is not something out of a guess. I've tested most of them. And the challenge is out. If you're using a method, if you're one of those super people using a method that you think is working better than this, we're up for a challenge. I would take any one of you on live, like we're doing here today. You show your method, I show my method, and then we see which one works. Go ahead. The challenge is for any one of you out there who wants to come and teach me something. I am willing to learn. I am always open to learn. So go ahead, but let's do it live. Let's do it like I'm doing it right now, right here. We're going to take charts. You don't get to choose the charts. We will let the viewers choose the charts. We will do the analysis. You do your method, I do my method, and then we go ahead and see what works. How many of you are willing to take the challenge? Rather than troll me on Skype or anywhere else, take the challenge. Prove that what you're doing is working. That's the whole point. Because if it is working, it's going to help some people. There's only one reason to do this, to help people. And if you want to help, then help us all. Help me if you have a better analysis than I'm using. I'm not married to this analysis. I'm willing to learn. I'm a student. I'm still willing to learn. If you have something better, then don't troll. Show us all. Just show us all and we'll go. No challenger found, right? I assume that's the error will come up. No challenger found. I'm willing. Look, I'm saying, hey, I could be wrong. Come, let's do it together, and then we're going to see. We're going to go back and we're going to analyze, and we will see. We'll see who's right, who's wrong. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the type of analysis you're using. It's that simple. They will help all of you. Maybe all of us are doing the wrong thing, and that guy has a genius. He has the best analytical method, and we are all just didn't know about it. He shows us. Wouldn't we all give him a big thank you? I would even pay him. Not only just give him a thank you, I'll pay him if he can find it that what he's using is better. I've tested most of them. I know what they are. That's the whole point. So let's go. The challenge is open to everyone. So if you watch this video and you're one of those geniuses who think you're smart enough and you have got that very good method, sure, come. We would definitely listen to you. We would learn from you. I would be the first to do that. So it's here. My method is open and it's there. Come, let's do it. I'm always willing. Let's go. That's a challenge none of them will take on. Let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index. Remember, we said we're in that big consolidation. We want to see it. Last week, I draw these two lines for you, and the lines are still there, right? So what we're saying is that based on the analytical method we're looking for the waves. We look for big waves, small waves, waves on all degrees. And last week, I actually went into some nice in-depth for you guys, which you should have learned a lot from. When it's here and it started to go up, you're watching this stuff. Now we may be making a flat. Now we need to look at what is it doing right now? Where do you think it can go when it breaks that top? Remember what I said, we're looking for a possibility of a 1, 2, 3. If they start to give you the 3 and they gave you this, you just want to, you can't confirm. Nobody can say, hey, it is going to go down there now. And I can tell you why. It's just that we don't have the time for me to show you why it's not definitely have to go down here. There are enough reasons that you would look for to see whether it is confirming the downside or not. You know what it should do. So we look at it and we said that possibility exists for the downside. Most of our traders got all of that profit in the different in a lot of other pairs, right? We don't trade the dollar index. So what you would look for now is confirmation. This has to confirm that it's making a consolidation here for the drop, and this becomes your trade. This was your trade. This was your trade. This was some small trades in it. That was your trade. So now, if it makes this consolidation here, that will confirm. What if it doesn't make the consolidation? Can you get a buy set up on this? Well, this one move down is never all the correction, but it could be part of a bigger running flat. Now, this, when I said that, that totally threw off everybody who has no idea what a running flat is or how that running flat could develop. And I think most of you have no idea how it could develop. So when I say that, that shows you, okay, he's just trying to cut his tracks and say, oh, if it doesn't go down, then it's going to go up. No. You can't use one single piece of a wave to decide what the corrective structure is going to do unless you are doing voodoo. And you're good at doing voodoo, which I don't do and I'm not good at doing. And I don't have a crystal ball. But if you understand the way waves develop, you can see the development and you can say, okay, this development happening now is telling me we're not going to get the downside, we're going to get a running flat. I couldn't make that simpler than that. I mean, if you can't understand that part I just explained, here's a good advice. Trading is not for you. You will save a lot of money if you take that advice. It's definitely not for you. If you couldn't understand what I just said, that piece. It's about how the patterns will develop when you have only one single piece of a corrective structure. A corrective structure is minimum 3 pieces, maximum 1,000 pieces. It could develop very long. I showed you the punk cat developed for 3 long years. So if you understand anything about wave analysis, you know that. And knowing that, mastering that art is what makes you a good trader and what makes you don't make mistakes some of the dumb traders out there make. And some of the people, I shouldn't say dumb, let me apologize. Some of the ignorant traders make. Ignorant means they without knowledge. Traders without knowledge trying to do this work. That's what they're not dumb. They just are ignorant of how it works, right? The mistakes they make. And then some of them come to blame you. They say, hey, you said this thing is going to go down, but look, it's going up. Yeah, but we bought it in our trading room and you sold it and you're upside down. And this is true. I will not use the person's name, but he might be in here and he might know. A guy is losing about $23,000 right now on his account that he sent me. And he said, look, you said the Aussie is going to go down, but it's going up. What happened? I'm upside down in this trade. And I was like, you just need to pay $2,500 for my course and you would have made about $20,000 rather than losing $20,000. That sounds like a penny-wise, pound-foolish thing to do. Lose $20,000, then call me for advice, and you just cannot take the course where you will master the art of doing it. I still try to show him what is likely going to happen. And I will do the Aussie in detail as we come to it. So right now, if you get a correction here, you have a buy set up, you will treat this buy as a short-term buy until it breaks that top. Until, when, and how it breaks the top. 3 things you need to do. If it breaks the top, when it breaks the top, and how it breaks the top would be important in telling you whether we're going to go down or whether we're going to go up. So for now, you should be looking for that. With this little sharp wave, I'm going to 60 minutes. This might give you this and one more up here, and then downside without breaking that top, with or without breaking that top. So short term, you might be getting this. Can this drop from this point and just do this? And then do that and go down. That would be a sell setup, but most of you will not recognize it. See? It's about how this pattern is going to develop in the future. And it is not that easy as I'm showing you here. If it was that easy, all of you would be genius in it. It's more complicated. That is why the training course is 6 weeks and not 6 days and not 6 hours. 6 weeks of learning, and then you get 6 months of practicing it. That's what it is. Then people master it. And then you see people coming. We did a poll last week. 60% of my traders are successful. 29% are making 1 to 3% monthly. 29% is making 3 to 5% and more, above 5% monthly. 14% are not trading live. They're new traders who just joined. And the rest are not making money as yet. So what do you do with a group where you have that much people making money and some not making? We start doing one-on-one with those who are not making money. One-on-one, I sit with them one-on-one, look at the trades they take, see how they analyze the chart, see where they're making mistakes, correct their mistakes, put them on a special program. You do this for 2 months and get back to me. And let's see how you make money or where you're making mistakes. I give them specific rules of what to do now to counter the mistakes they're making. And then we see how many of those people get successful. You don't get that. All of that is for free. You don't get that anyway. They only pay for one thing. They pay for the course. Everything else they get after that is free, and they get a lot. You ask any of my students, they will tell you. Even the ones I kicked out of the group, they will tell you. They can curse me for anything, but one thing they can't curse for is not getting their money's worth. Because they get much more than that. They leave understanding structure, they leave knowing how to trade, they have good strategies, and if they stay in the room and they work well, they become successful. That's it. That's the whole purpose of what we do, why we do. So let's go. Watch this here. If it gets a flag, take the buy. Be careful, it's going to be short term. The bigger picture, downside. Euro. We showed you this sharp one and we told you this is not, remember that? I said that's not an impulse, that is going to go up. When it comes to this level, you got to be careful. That's what I said last week. Go and look at it. Go and look at it. I said this, you're looking for a buy setup. No matter what happens to this, it has to go up. Go and look at last week's webinar. You know why we know that has to go up? That's not an impulse going down. The way it is developing, we knew it wasn't an impulse. We knew that that had to go up. Even if it breaks the low. Even if it breaks the low. See? There were a number of other structures we're looking at. Let me just give you a fast glance. See? See those 2 arrows? Okay, no more explanation there. Let's go back to where we are and let's dig. Guys, it's not that easy. If you really want to learn to do this, there's a way. So don't get caught up in crazy stuff. If you get a flag here, sell. If it goes down and break the low, you may want to keep it. If it doesn't break the low, watch it. They can make one more up and then come down. I don't think we're going up way to the top as yet. Structurally, this doesn't explain that to us as yet. Pong. Didn't I tell you Pong has to go back up, and Pong will be one that will go up much more than all of them? Remember those 2 lines I put there for you guys, and I said, watch those 2 lines. We're going to probably be making a flat. If there's any indication that they will all go up, I think Pong is a likely one to go up. Watch this line and watch this line. Probably one down here and then go back up there. But I think this is going to go back up here to make one. Either now it goes or it comes down and then go. So how will we know which is going to do? If they start to correct here, we're going now. If they start to drop and make a flag, they're going to make this and then go. But they're going to come back to this area here, regardless of what, because structurally, that's what is developing like right now. So look for a buy setup. If you get a sell setup, it's going to be short term. You can take it, get your profit, and get out of it. So let me do Aussie in details now. And I would give you one more thing I shouldn't give you. But this is for the guy who's losing $23,000, calling me now for advice, not being in my group, and couldn't pay $2,500 for the course and save himself $18,000 or $19,000. Not only would he save himself that much, he would be making that much profit. I said, look at this structure. We wanted to tag this stop. Only then we would say it's probably got a very nice flat. And then on the 1 hour, I said, there is a possibility that this could be the running flat. I'm repeating almost word for word. I said, this could be the running flat. I don't see it as the running flat as yet, but there's a possibility. If they break out of this here, wait for a flag and sell. So that was a very, very valid sell. And I'll show you that it was a valid sell and what you should have done. So it broke out, you got a valid sell set up. Most of my traders sold it, and none of them lost a single cent in it. You know why they didn't lose a single cent of it and they actually made money in this going up? Because beside the analysis, you have strategy. I think I've given you the 3 factors you need to learn that you learn in my trading group, right? When you're in there, when I teach you in the course, it's not only analysis. Analysis is the number 1 thing you need to know. The number 2 thing you need to know is strategy. Now that you've analyzed the chart, what is your strategy moving forward? What strategy you're going to use to trade this? We never discuss this here, and we will never discuss this here. That is exclusively for group course. How you take a trade, when you take a trade, how do you manage the trade? That is what a strategy is about. And then number 3, money management and risk management. Money management and risk management. Which trades you take based on what's the risk to reward, and then how much you should put in it. Money management is how much you should risk on the trade. The first one is risk management. Should you take that trade? Even if it's a valid trade, should you take it? How much are you going to be risking, and what would be the reward? Is it 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 1 to 1? Maybe it's less than 1 to 1. Then you don't take the trade. If you think that the target is this level, and the level you think the target is less than what you're risking, then you shouldn't take that trade. But if it's going to go much more than what you're risking, if you're risking 20 pips and it's going to move 40 pips, that's 2 to 1 you will get, then you can take that trade. I already explained one on risk management and money management for you guys. There's a webinar for that. When it comes to money management, how much money should you risk in a trade, whether you're right or wrong? Forget about everything. You take every single trade in your life. How much money you can afford to lose on every trade? You can't have a $30,000 account and lose $15,000 in a single trade. That's crazy. That means you haven't watched a single of my video. Go look at them. They're free. They're there. They tell you how you should handle risk. So even if you were wrong about that trade, you should lose about 1% or 0.5% of your account. You shouldn't be 50% down on your account. If that's how you're trading, you're in a gambling flow, you haven't listened to me, because I actually did 3 webinars on that, on money management and risk management. And they're all on YouTube. Go look at them. That should never happen. Even if you lost that trade, it's only 1% of your account. You have 99% to trade with now. Don't do crazy stuff and then come and say, hey, you told me to do this in your free webinar. I have never tell anybody to do anything or take any trade in any of my free webinar. I'm sharing you my views, what I think the market is going to do next week. And then you have to have a strategy to trade that. If it does what we think it is going to do, you need to have a strategy to trade it. And if you don't have a strategy to trade it, don't trade it. If you don't understand what I explained, don't trade it. If you don't know how to do money management and risk management, don't trade it. It means you have to gain knowledge before you trade. No one will make you successful trading out of ignorance. It wouldn't work. I think I've stressed that a million times. Nobody has ever been successful doing anything out of ignorance. You can't even pack a warehouse if you're ignorant of how that is done. Go into an IK warehouse and try to figure out where things are if you don't know how to find them. You must know. You must have the knowledge of what you're doing. You can't do things out of ignorance. Why people think you can trade out of ignorance? That baffled me. You're putting your money at risk, your hard-earned money at risk, and you think you can do it out of ignorance. It just wouldn't work. You wouldn't do anything out of ignorance besides that. You wouldn't even start playing a game not knowing how to play the game. Why would you put all your hard-earned money at risk not knowing how to do it? How about you learn before you do that? How about you risk a little part of your money to learn and see whether you want to even do it? Maybe you take the course and say, hey, that's not for me. I can't do that stuff, or I don't want to do that stuff. That's not my thing. But at least you would save the rest of your earnings, your hard-earned earnings. You wouldn't lose it all, right? How many people have taken how many different courses? Some of you may have taken actors courses and figure out, oh, I'm not an actor. You went to learn to sing, and then somebody says, hey, that's not your thing. Why don't you go get another job? You can't sing. You have, I mean, think of me going to take a singing course. I'll probably in the second day, I'll realize it's not my thing, right? I can't sing. It's that simple. All of us can do everything we want to do. We simply don't have, what is needed for it. So you go and you take a course and you figure out if it's yours or not. And then you said, okay, not my thing. You take 1 year trying to figure out that on the internet for free. And then if you think, oh, I like this thing, I think I can do it, I have what it takes. Now you go take a professional training course for it. And then you said, no, not my thing, sorry. I was fooling myself, think I can do it. That's how it works. That's how, if you want to be a basketball player or football player, that's what you do. You don't just go and say, hey, I'm going to be a pro tomorrow. So people, please don't lose your money. I'm warning you. I was sad when I saw the guy losing his money. It hurt me. I was like, wow, man, $23,000 you lost just like that. You're going to lose it. Don't do that, people. It's your money. It's sad because, people just, I don't know how else to get this message over to every single trader. It's up to you guys to let this webinar reach every single trader. Even the ones who think they're pro. This should reach them so they can learn something because, and worse said, the spammers. This should reach them too because they're hurting people. Let's go. Sometimes I get carried away, but when you see messages like that and you see people losing their money like that, it gets to you. Like, why are you doing it? Weren't you listening to me? Why are you not looking at the webinars? Don't do it. Don't even buy a course if you're now starting. Take 1 year before you buy any course, not even my course. I say that every time, and people still join and they go and buy courses and lose more money because you can't learn everything in 1 year. It's not possible. Now we're in the Aussie. So here is it. If you sold this, you should get out of that trade. By our strategy, you should get out of that trade. You should not stay in that trade. I'm not going to give you guys the details, but I'm telling you, if we took that trade, you need to close it. And when you see this, you look for a buy here. That is so simple. When you know it, it's so simple. I've said this many times. It's easy when you know what you're doing. Ask golfers, ask footballers, ask people who are pros in what they do. It's easy for them to do. They know what they're doing. You give me a football and put it in front of the goal and you don't even put a goalie there and say kick it in and I'll probably miss. You don't even have to put anybody to defend the goal. I will probably miss if I even kick the ball in the right direction. 90% of you here will miss it. I almost guarantee you that because we don't know how to do that. We're not trained to do that. But it's easy for the people who are trained to do it. When you know what is the right way to do it, you know how to react. You should not be losing in this. Let's go. By the way, we're out of this trend. And once we're out of this trend, I told you guys, you got to watch it when it comes out of this trend. Right? Because we're looking at the bigger picture. Sorry, the line moved. Let me put back the line. It's coming out of the trend. Coming out of the trend itself does not mean anything. It's not big. It doesn't mean it's going to go up. It means it has to tell us what it's going to do here. You can do this, or you can do this. And if it does that, we go up. And if it does that, we wait for a flag and sell. We wait for flags and sell. You wait for that flag and you sell. You wait for this flag. There's a flag there in the 1 hour and you sell. I'm on the daily, right? So if you go back, and I can tell you there's a flag here in the 1 hour, you sell. There's a flag here in the 1 hour, you sell. There's a flag here in the 1 hour, you sell. There's a flag here in the 1 hour, you sell. I'm on the daily, so that is why I know where those flags are. If they start to go sideways like this, you look for the buy. There was a buy setup for us there. When you start to see them going sideways and breaking out, you have one buy setup, you have two buy setup, you have three buy setups. And when it comes here and you see this, you put your stop there and you get take out. Let me take that off. New Zealand. If there was anyone that we knew was going to go up, it was the New Zealand. And I've shown you this many times. This is what we are expecting it to do. And when it starts to do this, I said, watch this pattern. Watch this specific pattern here. They tend to go up. Is this the one that is going to go up? You can make 3, 4, 5 attempts before it go, but it will go. Is this the one that will go? We don't know, but it will tell us. That's the whole thing. You don't have to know. You wait until they tell you what they're going to do. You made a lot of money in this one. Well done. You see, you were listening and you were learning. You need to tell that to the rest of the group so they can know that you need to listen and learn, and then you can make money. You watch it, it comes out of this area. See, what we thought originally was that they might come back and tag the low here and then go. Once they didn't tag the low and they turned, for us, that was great. Make a correction, get that trade. See? Now what you want them to do, make a correction, get that trade. Can they come down back as something like this? As a bigger corrective structure downside? For me, that would be joy. Although I would be wrong on that, and that would be joy. Once I see that happening, I'm coming for a big move to the downside. That has just changed this structure I'm looking for, but not the bigger structure. It has not changed the bigger. The bigger structure will still play out. In one of our analysis, in one of our trader who's just finished the course, and question that he came up on the chart he was working on, and then we looked at how when do we get a confirmation for the bigger pattern? It took 3 years. For you can say now this pattern is finished on this chart. I'm not going to go into details, but we were doing that. I do what you call the marathon, where they present the chart and then they show me how they're doing it, and I correct what they're doing. And he was doing a chart, and I said, okay, go back now. Look at this. You see, you have that line. You see, you have that impulse. You have to match the impulse. When do you think you got the impulse? 3 years after that impulse appears. It was on a weekly chart. So 3 years within a weekly chart for one weekly impulse was normal. So it was only after 3 years he could confirm that pattern. You knew that pattern was coming, but you could only confirm it after 3 years. That's on higher time frame. On lower time frame, you can confirm them more. A 60 minutes pattern can be confirmed by 2-3 days. A 4-hour pattern maybe by a week. Sometimes you confirm them much earlier. But if you're a forecaster, you can trade every bits of pieces of it because you know what the pattern you're forecasting is going to do. And if it starts doing the pattern that you think it's going to do, you trade it. When it doesn't do that, you're not in the trade, and then you relook at it and you said, okay, well, it's not doing that pattern. Then what pattern is it making now? And then you look at this pattern and said, okay, does this pattern fit the whole general structure? Yes, trade this one then, because you know what this one is going to do. It's not magic, guys. We're not doing some magic. We're not doing some voodoo. We're analysts. We analyze the chart. We make decisions. We wait for the strategy to kick in and we trade. That's what we do. And that's a learnable something. It's a teachable something too. I can teach you. You can learn it. That's what we do. And you can trade it. We all trade it together. That's it. It's that. It's not all kinds of voodoo thing. You don't just put one line and say, when it breaks this line, buy. When it breaks this line, sell. Or put an animal, and when it comes to this level, you buy and sell. That's not trading. That's guesswork. You have to understand what the bigger structure is, what the smaller structure, and where in the structure you can do what. And if it doesn't do what you're doing, how do you exit for minimum loss? All of that is part of our strategy we teach you. So when you're wrong about what the pattern you think is going to do, but you are already in the trade, how do you manage that? What do? Do you get the hell out of it now because you see it? Or do you wait for it to come back to a certain level and you get out for a less loss, maybe, even for break even, sometimes even for profit, although you're wrong, right? You were 50 pips up. You realize it's not going to do what you wanted to go. You were looking for 200 pips. It's coming back 20 pips. You look at it and say, hey, I can get out right now, or I can wait for it to just go back to this level and then take it off. You got 40 pips. Or you're upside down. You're in the trade and it goes upside down. And you're 50 pips upside down and you're looking and said, okay, I can close it now and take the loss. It hasn't taken me out as yet. I have a 60 pip or a 70 pips up, or I can wait for it to do this. And if it doesn't take me out before it does this, I would get out for 10 pips loss. All of that we teach. All of that we do on a daily basis. And we remind you on a daily basis. So you learn all that stuff. We have a trading room that does that on a daily basis. It's not magic. You don't just sit and take a trade and go drink coffee, go drink whiskey and come back and think you're going to make a lot of money. You have to do this thing. I don't know who's been sharing all these myths around there that people are believing that, hey, Forex traders, you can make a lot of money, just don't do anything. Just relax and go on the beach. And well, I see those advertisements, right? The guys with his fancy house and everything, and relaxing on the beach, and he's telling you he made $1 million. You got to work. I'm telling you the opposite. You got to work. You got to think. You got to analyze. You got to do a lot of stuff to learn to do it. And then you got to work when you're trading. It's a work. You don't go relax on the beach and make money. Whoever is telling you that is making money from you, not from trading. Go work, relax on the beach. So watch this. How do we know that these patterns are going to go? You remember, all of you should have made money in that pattern, and let me show you it. You should have been buying that 3 times to make money. So I show my trader this. You don't always get it the first time. And all of you can go back and check this date and check this webinar here. Go back and check it just for the fun. And remember what I said. We're looking for a buy. We bought here. What is the worst case? You get break even. Buy this. What is the worst case? You get break even. Buy this. What is the worst case? You make a hell of a lot of profit. Go back and look at these webinars with this piece. I've been forcing you guys to buy it. There were some trolls saying, hey, look, he didn't get the first one. He didn't get the second one. It's not about them. It's about us. We don't need to get the first one or the second one. We know it's going to go. We just need to get the one that is going. So if we get 2 break-even trades, giving up 60 to 70 pips, and then you get that, that's your trade. First one, we got in there, 139 pips. You can get break-even out of that. Second one, you got in there. Here we got in 120 pips. You can get break-even out of that. Third one, we got in here. That's your trade. Even if you get out here, but we never get out here. I never get out there. I never even get out here. I get out here when I see this starts to happen. I get out here. That's where I get out. You don't try to do that, please. You don't know when to do that and when I'm doing it. Don't try to do that in your account. You'll lose your account doing that. You need to understand way of analysis. Very, very good to do that. You don't do that and you watch it go against you way back to the bottom here because you don't know which patterns you should do that in and which patterns you shouldn't do that in. See? That's trading. And this was done live in front of every one of you. And I can give you 1,000 examples of those. So if you want to be a trader and you seriously want to be a trader, think about it today. Take some time to think about it. If you seriously want to be a trader, what it will take for you to be there and make the right decisions. Let's go. We're looking for yen to go up some more, right? I think last week we looked at this pattern and the same thing we saw, pretty much a smaller pattern of that version. And your first buy should have actually come in at this one here and then a buy there. And you should have got out the trade somewhere here. And we're looking for buys again. So right now, this was a buy, take that off. If you're in that trade, take it off. Wait for another correction or expect it to probably come back here. I think we might see this come back here before it goes. So they're in the definite trade setup here now. So I think we can leave that alone. We'll get a trade setup mid in the week. CAD, we showed you these patterns and what we think it's going to do. And it's pretty much doing what we think it's going to do, except it's not doing how we think it's going to do it. Remember when I said that could probably be a leading diagonal, we'll be looking for 1, 2, 3. But this is not how I expect the third one to look like. It did exactly what we wanted to do, but not how I want it to look like, right? The market is not working for me, right? So they don't always have to do, except for 1 or 2 times when I told the guys, okay, I just want this to go up, and it actually went. And they're like, wow, did you tell the market to do that? I was like, no, I understand what the market does. So look at this here now. And then we start to see it doing this, and we're thinking, we sold that. Remember that sell? It goes back. We get out of the trade. We look at it. Remember I said, even if it breaks that up, this has to come down. That was a wonderful sell for my traders because that was easy. When we see these, we see them like, like a free gift. When you see that and you know it has to come down. There's not a question if. You know you're getting that sell. Because this is just an easy pattern. And once it comes close to this low, you can move your stop. Most of my traders got out here. We didn't look for this part, but then we started to see this part and said, okay, let's see what happens. This doesn't look very much. So either they're going to come back here and then go, or they're going to take off because it's starting to look like they're making flat, not necessarily making flat. But when you get this pattern, remember what I told you. We know for sure now that they're very, very high probably they're going to make one more impulse up. So this impulse, if they make a correction here now, we will watch this piece. There's a possibility that that's a contracting flat, and this one is the upside, or they will come tag the low again and then start the upper one. There's a 99% chance they will get that upside. 1% we can be wrong and they start to go down. If we're wrong and they break the structure, I would be happy to be wrong because there's a very big trade to the downside. The downside has the biggest trade. The problem is, when is this thing going to end? And it's not confirming an upside move as yet, right? We're not, the way its structure is developing, we can't confirm that this is going to go up totally. On the big picture, yes. On the daily, yes. On the daily, you can see that structure for upside. But this piece is not confirming the upside is yet. This piece first, if they do this and come, they need to at least come back here and then go. At least that's what we think how this pattern should develop. So like I said, if we're right and this thing break down here, we will get this move. If they make one more move up, we get a short trade there, and then we will watch this to see whether it continues to go. All right, so come back into it now and watch this piece here in the 4 hour. You wait for a flag. If they make a flag here or make a correction here, you will get a trade. So in this area here, if they start to go up, you can buy in the break of that up, depending on what structure you see in there and where you want to buy it and how you're going to buy it and how you will manage that trade. If this falls to the bottom and break this low and break out of that structure, great. Wait for a sell setup and sell it and keep it, because it's going to go very far. See? So we're at a talking point here now. I always call that the talking point. They have to tell you something for a big trade. They're at a point where they have to tell you you're going to get a big trade. Yeah, an expanding flat. So this is very likely. That's what we think it is doing, making an expanding flat for that upside. See? So CAD has pretty much been listening to us so far. Now it's not telling us what it's doing as yet, but we're close to telling. It's close to telling us. And once we got that information, we'll be able to trade. So we've been taking a lot of short trades in and out of this. Swiss, this one has been very nice to us. You couldn't ask for more. Go back and look at the webinar when this was going down. Look at this webinar when that was going on, what I said. You can look at all the webinars from that, what I was saying. It has to come back to the top because we are making an expanding flat in the middle there. So it has to come back and tag the top. Or did we do that? Magic, right? That's the crystal ball or the voodoo. It works. It's because of how we see these patterns develop when they behave this specific way. Now what? Go to the daily. And now two things possible. Because we have a complete pattern here. We have at least one, we have two, and we have three. That is a complete pattern by itself. As it stands right now, it's a complete pattern. What we don't know is if this one is finished. You don't know where that will finish. Based on the entire structure, we can break that top. It is possible we can break that top if they're going up now. If they're not going up now, we will see one more downside. You get 1, 2, 3. You get one downside. You get one downside, you get 3 up, you get a downside, you get 3 up, you can get one more downside. And you will get a pattern that will look like this. So it's at what I call the talking point. You're going to come down for one more, or you're going to totally go up. Is it a 3-wave correction, or is it a 5-wave correction? Should I charge you guys for this? This is serious information. Should I charge you guys for this? Okay, you're nice. I'll give you some free stuff. Now you decide. At this point, they have to tell us. So we will watch this one to see where it is going to go. Keep focused on this. When this shows you a turning point, sell the sucker and stay with it. Put it to break even and keep it. If you get a sell setup here every time, you take it. You will get about 6 break even if it keeps going up. You will buy too. When the buy setups come, you will get it. But you will get a break even on your sell, then you get a buy setup. You take the buy, you take the profit. You get a sell setup, you sell it again. That will happen on the 60 minutes. So on the 60 minutes, if you're going to see this like a straight line on the daily, but in 60 minutes, it's going to be like this. Impulse, you get a correction for a sell. You sell the correction. You put the break even. It goes up back. You get an impulse. You buy that. It starts to do this again. Give you a sell setup. You sell it. It comes back, stop here, it goes back again, give you a break even, you buy this here. And then you make one sell here, and then that drops. And it keeps making corrections and drop. And that is the trade you want. Pretty easy, right? I just said it's pretty easy. I could end the webinar here now, and all of you can go make money. Try repeating that on the chart. You can't do it. I know you can't do it. The reason I'm telling you is I know you can't do it. I have traders who I've trained to do this, explaining everything to them. And they're practicing to do this, and they still can't do it. 30% of them still can't do it. It means it's not that easy as I said it. That's the theory of how it should work. It's you getting the practice now. It's putting you on the spot on the practice and said, tell me which one you're going to sell and which one you're going to buy. That's where the hard work comes, and that's what we train you to do. And within 6 months, you can tell me every single one. See? So now we go back into the 1 hour. You had a sell set up, you sold it. That's a break-even trade. See that? You got a sell set up, you sold it. That's a break-even trade. You look for a buy setup. You get a flag here, you buy it. Breaks the top, you take profit. It comes back here, make another flag for sell, you sell it. It goes up back, you get a break-even trade, you take profit. You get a break-even trade, you buy this and take profit. You repeat the process. And if you have to repeat that process 10 times before you get the trade to go where you want it to go, just keep doing it. Break-even is not a loss. You don't lose money doing that. Now, let me give you the warning sign I should give you. If you're not a good wave analysis person, if you don't know wave analysis, if you're not good at trading, if you don't know how to do money management, if you don't know how to do risk management, if you don't know how to identify what a flag is, if you don't know what a structure is, if you don't know what patterns are, do not do what I just told you to do. Because if you try to do that, you will end up losing your account. Now, if you understand everything I just listed, and you understand all of that, very good. Go ahead and trade it. Make money. And if you need to be a kind person to send me some, just send me a message. Right? Make money and send me a message. You can give back. I'll tell you, I wouldn't take your money, but I'll tell you what to do. Right? If you're successful from league, I'll tell you how you can help somebody else. I don't need your money, but I can tell you how you can help somebody else. Right? So let's go. Do it. Silver, I don't even know if I should tell you what to do in silver. Remember I said once we see they start doing this, they're going to come back to this low and then go back up? That's magic. It actually worked like magic. So what are we going to do now? Is there any possibility that something else could happen in here? So I'm going to just tell you once, and I'm not going to tell you why. There's a possibility they can come back here and then go. Right? So what you have to do is, if you're in the trade, is put your trade to break even. If they come back at the bottom here, buy again. Right? But they're not going to go lower. There's a very rare chance of this going lower. We're not looking at this as a three-wave structure, 1, 2, 3 as yet. We're looking at this as a bigger correction for upside. Or they will make a small correction here and take off. So if you're long-term in the trade, don't do anything. If you're short-term, take profit and look for a buy again. See? So you would ask, isn't this a corrective structure for downside? And some of my traders ask that question. No, it isn't. We don't look at it that way right now. And we don't see the possibility of that happening. If you're long-term, you don't care if it happens. If you're short-term, then you need to protect your trade. If that happens, I would be the happiest person. If I'm wrong about this analysis of this thing not breaking the low, and it does break the low, I can tell you right now, not a secret, I have entry orders lying there to buy. And I'm not taking out those entry orders. So right now, if I'm wrong about it, I would probably be a happy person. Because now I get to take those profit off and I get to buy it back right at the bottom here to the upside again. Remember this entry order that got you in the trade? We have entry orders here. So let them go break the low. I'll just be one happy person to be wrong. I don't think they're going to break that. I think we'll consolidate within here and go. But there's a very strong there's a very, very strong possibility for them to come back to this level and then go based on patterns that we know. So either you get a buy above the top after they consolidate here, or they come back here and you buy at the bottom and you go, right? Yes, it could also go now. There is that structure where it could go now, but that's a very rare structure. The ones that say it could go now is a little rare structure. So watch this. They can consolidate here and then take off. Keep an entry order above the top. See? Let's go gold. Gold, I think it's easy. Gold is going up and it's going to go up some more. I don't think they're going to consolidate a lot in here. It's possible. I don't think so because this looks very much upside right now. Right? So watch this trade here. If they start making, they're making a flag possible here, they're making some consolidation there, that looks like it's going to go up. So you may get a very good buy and goal. Once it comes to the top, put it to break even. Because if it's going to make a running flat, you'll end up running into trouble. Let's go. Euros. Euros is going down much more than I thought it would go, because we still can't clearly identify all the pattern. We know it is supposed to come down here for running flat. This piece and this piece coming down here for running flat. We just couldn't fix this piece here at it. So we'll probably get it sometime later here. You'll get a sharp move and you'll get a down move and then it'll go. So it's going to happen, but just going to happen later. So if you get sell setups, take it. It's not the best one to trade right now, I can tell you that. You're getting sell setups, take it. You'll probably get another sell setup here. If they consolidate here and start to fall again, you'll get another sell setup, take the trade. They'll probably come here, go back up, and then fall like this. Right? So you come there, come down, go back up, and then fall. You get a flag and you sell. So this might be more of a sell right now. Euro New Zealand was a sell, and it's still a sell. Right? This wasn't an if one. This one had a very clear pattern here. And the whole structure is telling us that this could literally go down very much. So if you get a lot of sell setups, take it. You're getting a flag here now, right now. Not a flag, I think you're getting a correction. You're getting a correction, and if you get a correction, go for the trade. Right? They're probably going to make some more correction. They might even go a little more higher, right? And then start to fall. So if they will make a correction, just try to figure out what it is if you can, and then look for trade stops. If you can, just leave it. EuroCAD, we're making a big correction. EuroCAD is in this big sideways movement. I think for new traders, don't try to trade it. And for seasoned traders, if you understand what it's going to do, look for this one, or let it go up by itself to this top and then look for that. I don't think they're going to break out of this structure. They're going to drop. This structure looks like a running flat that will drop. So right now, you don't have a trade. If they drop now, take the trade. If they start to go back, let them go up sharp and then look for the top. Euro Swiss. Okay, so we are making a much bigger correction than we anticipated. Let's take it off. We anticipated this to break down, but it's not breaking down so easy. It's kind of correcting itself up. Well, I think that's correction. The way it's going, it's correction. So I still expect the one more down move, at least one more down here, right? But I think it's going to be bigger than that. But let's see, they're just pushing and pushing and pushing. It looks like here again, they're going to push and push and push, and eventually they're going to fall. Let them push. Don't try to buy it. Wait for the sell. If you don't get a sell, well, what's the big deal? Let it keep pushing until it gives you. That's not a buy sell. I see buys, but you don't take buys like that. Look at it. You take a trade here, look what it's doing. You want it to go when you get in the trade. You don't want it to do that. Euro yen. Euro yen is breaking out, and if it breaks out, then it will make the pattern we think it could make. That is this one, which is we were expecting this to go back up, but we don't have the confirmation as yet. I want to see a correction here, and then that will confirm it. So let's go see if we have a correction. Not as yet. We're getting small flags. You can buy the flags, but you have to be careful. So if you get a small flag here and they go up, you take that trade, take profit. They make another one go up, take profit. They make another one go up. If they don't make a sharp impulse on any one of those buys you take, just stop trading it because it's going to fall. But very likely they're going to give you a very sharp sudden impulse. You're going to take one of those buys and it just takes off. And that will give us the sense of direction they're going to go. Euro pound. Any one of you remember this? I think last week I stressed this and it just keeps going, right? How many of you, by the way, who is not my trader? I know a lot of my traders in this, like a lot of my traders in this trade. You just can't not be in this trade. We talk about this trade in details for years. How many of you who are not my traders have a trade on this thing? If you're not my trader, any one of you, how many of you are in a sell? Or you got the sell, but you're out. We have traders who are still in that sell from the top here. By the way, 2 of you only, not so good, right? So the rest of you have to learn. We have traders who sold it from there and they're still in, right? I'm still in this trade too, because I'm in this one. I took this one as well, but not from the top there. I took it from a little lower than that, right? Because I missed when that happened. I wasn't there when that happened, but I got in the trade and I'm still keeping this and it's still making a big correction. So it's still coming here, right? It's still coming here. Let's go. Pound CAD. Going up. Pankaj, we were expecting this to probably, when it comes this level, either break out of this structure and tell us that it's going to go down, because we really thought this was going to break out. It had a very nice three-wave structure already to break out. And then they just start going back up. So it actually is going up very deep. See that? It's going up very deep. I think we might just end up with a more complex pattern here. So you got to buy. That wasn't a buy system we would take, or by our strategy, we would not buy this, but now we can buy it. Now, if they consolidate here to go more up, we can buy, because we can see the bigger possible pattern they can make. If they start to fall, you will wait for a flag somewhere here and then sell, because of the change of this piece, the change that we see in there, and that up move. Pang Yen. Also, we expected an up trade, but that was a surprise. We didn't think it was going to go so sharp. Remember, we're looking for this pattern here to finish, and I don't think, by rule, it could finish here. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3. By rule, that should finish there. It could finish there, not necessarily. It could come to this line. By my experience, I don't like it when they're so short. I like it when they come tag this level and then turn. But by our rule of understanding these patterns, that could be a complete pattern. I would not buy into this as yet. We didn't buy into it. I don't advise my children. We're not buying into it as yet. Let it confirm, and then we will buy into it. So right now, we saw the up move because we had a running flat here. We saw that going up, but I thought it would stop somewhere here and go down. They actually went pretty high. If you get a sell set up here, we will take the sell every day. So if we get a sell set up here, we'll take the sell and put it to break even. If it makes a bigger correction for up, we'll buy it. If we don't get the buy setup, good for us. We want the sell. The buy setup, if we don't get the sell and it starts to make more of a buy setup, I would have to relook at it, because I'm still not convinced that this down move is over. And I've seen it before where they do that and they just make a bigger spike up and then they start to fall. And they do tag the line here. So we will wait to see whether we get that. And if that works, that'll be perfect. If it doesn't, then we'll have to just skip this and trade something else. Pound Swiss, you don't have to trade every one you see. Pound Swiss, this one was okay. We saw that up move. We didn't just thought it was going to go that much too. Bigger picture was looking very much downside, and it still looks very much downside. Bigger picture still looks very much downside. This here, that whole pattern there. We broke out. They start to consolidate. I thought they'll probably stop somewhere here, come back, and make something like this to go down. That's a big move up, but it's still not big. They could come all the way here and then go down. I look at this one. See how deep they went back and then they fall. They can do that. They can actually get very deep before they go. I didn't think they were going to get deep because the structure wasn't showing us that they were going to get deep, especially with this start to come on. So we'll just watch this here. If you get a buy here, you can go for a buy to this level and watch it when it breaks that. Because if they break that and start to fall, you definitely want to be in that trade. The buy is no longer interested. Let it go up. It's no longer a good risk to reward trade. So ignore the buys, but look for the sells. If you start to get sells here, take them. Right? Pound New Zealand. This one could go up because this one came to a point where we think it's either going to make a bigger consolidation now. From this point, you can go back up to the top or you can consolidate and fall. So here, if we get buy setups, we would look for buys back to the top, or we would look for consolidation here and then a very big move to the downside. Some kind of a consolidation there. So let's look at it in the 4 hour. You're getting a buy setup actually right now. This is kind of consolidating here right now. So I think this consolidation would likely go up. At least one more up. You can take the buy if it becomes a big sideways flat, or if they make a running flat, that would be good for us, which means if this one comes, keep doing this and break this low, look for the upside and then sell. That'd be a running flat that you want to sell. Pause. Right now, we're getting a consolidation here. So I think this consolidation could go back one more up here. I don't think it ended here. Right, that there's a possibility that it could go back one more to this level, and then we look for a sell. This looks very much like a sell. Until they break this, I'm not looking for buy setups. I'm looking for sell. You see that 1, 2, 3, and then drop. They have a lot of that. So this one might be the key as to where the pound, what the pounds are going to do. When it comes to this level, then we'll look at it. That level not because the line is there, because that level is where that structure would either break or not break. Aussie yen. I'll have to skip some guys because we're really running out of time, but I think the warning I was giving you guys earlier was really worth it. Aussie yen is in a big sideways move. You may get some buying more to the top there. I think this was the buy setup I was giving all of you last week. Somebody said they made a lot of money in it. Good work. You were listening, right? So you made a lot of money. Good work. Okay. New Zealand yen, upside. It's a big sideways move. If you got this one, great. If you didn't get it, now you got to wait. Look for sell setups. See what it's doing? It's not a sideways move. It's actually, if you're looking at this, wait for this flag here, and if you get a flag, look for a sell down, right? It might take a long time. See that flag here, how long it took, but it could be very short. And if it makes a short flag, can this go up more? Yes, they can go up more. You'll have to wait for a consolidation before you buy. Because with a move like that, they will have to consolidate before they go. Canadian upside, we're looking for more upside. It's not going as we would like, but it's going very slow, but I do think they will get back to the top. So we're looking for more upside on the Canadian. Swiss yen, it's consolidating. I don't know whether they'll tag the top again. We wanted this to tag the top, it didn't. So we will watch this on a very slow time basis. If it keeps going up very slow, you will get buy setups. But if it keeps going very slow, like if they're going to come back here like this and then do this and then come back here like this, well, then you will get a big sell setup. It will take a while, not right now. So you can just leave this. Don't trade it until it gets that setup. And when that setup happens, then you will know where the trade is going to go. Aussie Swiss, you're going to get some more buys. Just wait for it. They're going to pull back and then go. It's going up in an uptrend right now. New Zealand, Aussie, New Zealand, we're waiting to see what it's going to do here. I still think they have to finish. To finish the pattern, they have to come up. That move to the upside has to happen. Otherwise, the pattern will not, it will not be, not only will it not be the pattern we're looking for, it will not be any pattern that we know. Put it that way. Because all the patterns we know will have to go up and then come down. I can just put it very fast for you to see. I think I did that already, right? By all means, we were expecting this to come back here and then come down. So let's see. Right now, it seems like they're making an attempt at that, consolidating in here. If they consolidate in here, they might break out and go. So watch for that trade. Actually, if this breaks out of here, that would be a very good trade. And it could be very sharp. You see what happened when this one broke out? See what happened there? So you might get that trade. You can focus on it. And if it comes when it breaks the stop, take profit. Once it comes close to that up and break it, take profit. It doesn't matter where it goes after that, because the bigger trade after that will be to the downside. See it? Oh, I actually have one here for you. This one is from another chart. Anybody want to tell me which chart that one is from? Make a wild guess. I think it's easy for you, punk cat. Okay, good. You got it. We're good at that. That's faster than I expected, man. You guys, or I showed you it already. I thought this was from my group. I may have showed you that already, right? Great, good. See? So we're gonna expect that move and then it's gonna go up. So good work. I can end the webinar there now. I know you guys were listening. Let's go. So okay, let's do some. I'll have to skip some because of the time, guys. The reason I'm running out of time is because I have a visitor here who gave him my nephew from New York, so I'm taking him around, and that's why I wouldn't be in here tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm taking him to Abu Dhabi, so I'll leave early in the morning, come back very late in the night. So I still have to go out with him tonight, so I'll try to make it fast. Let's do some of the, these are not so important ones. You guys could figure it out. Let's do S&P 500 for you, because this one is important. Remember we said watch this pattern, is probably going to go back up. Now you got to watch it for there's a second pattern developing here that is possible, this one. So they might as well do that. So wait for the setup to buy or the setup to sell. They're very close that they can do that. For Bitcoin, I still think it's downside. That has not changed, right? Sorry, guys. I still think this is downside. It doesn't matter that they're bouncing up and down. They're still bouncing up and down within that corrective structure, right? We broke out this one. We dropped. They're going back up. That doesn't really mean much. I don't think the structure for the upside is started as yet. We're just going sideways. So they may go sideways, drop, get to this level, and then take off. Oil, somebody wants US oil. US oil is doing exactly, it's coming down nice. So now it's an expanding flat. Remember I said last week, it could either go up from here as a running flat or keep dropping. And you can see the sell setups we have there, right? You don't want me to show you them. You can see that. That's what we've been doing in our trading room, right? Those are not for you, those for trading, but you can see them, right? So basically, we've got an expanding flat in the making now, which means it can go a little more. And then you want to be careful. It's not a reversal sign. This is not a reversal sign. There's more of an expanding flat. Let's make an assumption that I'm wrong about the expanding. Let's just for the sake of argument, let's say this was the correction. I got that wrong. That was the correction. This was the end of the move, and this is actually going down. You want to sell it here? Bad idea. Because when you sell there, they will do this, and then they'll drop. I think that's the note I should leave you guys on with. Where you think you should be selling is wrong. So I think it's going to go higher. I don't think this is the flat. I think it's going to go higher. I think this was the correction. We made an impulse and we're making an expanding flat. I may be wrong about that. Sometimes you get them wrong. You get the patterns wrong because the part you think is the pattern is not the complete pattern. The pattern is bigger than that. That's okay. I'm okay. I'm willing to say I'm wrong about that one. How we trade that, how we look at this pattern doesn't influence how we trade this. Remember we said when they're breaking that up, it has to come back down. And it did. And we knew that. That's why we can trade it. Right? So now you got to be careful. Any sales you get now could be very short term. You got to move your stops very fast because if they start to go up, buy and hold it. Now, if you get buy setups, take it and hold it. Let's see, Nifty. Somebody was accusing me of not liking Indians to do Nifty for them. Okay, let me do it for you. Nifty is making a bigger correction. It's making a 1, it's making a 2, it's making a 3. It could be a running or an expanding flat, and very likely you're going to get at least one more down, right? So watch this here. I think it's a big correction. I don't see it as a reversal. If you're going to buy, wait for flags. On the bigger picture, also, we notice this pattern that could possibly be in play. Right? We notice that this bigger pattern might also be in play. So what if this is going to turn? Well, you wait for a bigger correction here before you go. If they give you this, then that will be buying to break the top. If they drop one more, still look for that possibility, right? You will sell, but you will be cautious now that that is possible. Nifty does have these sharp kinds of correction. In here, they're like a drop, but they make this 3-wave kind of thing, but it's sharp. So we're thinking maybe that's the same thing here, and they end this structure there rather than this pattern. But as long as we see that possibility for that pattern, we are always cautious until that possibility no longer exists, right? When that possibility no longer exists, then we said, okay, that was not the pattern we think it could make, but this is the pattern. So you probably see 2 likely patterns developing. You let it prove to which one it's doing at every stage until one of them is no longer valid. And then you said, okay, well, that was not, this is the one it's making. We know that for sure now. Right? So there are times when you know for sure that there's no other pattern but this pattern that it can make, and there are times when you just like the Swiss. There was no other thing but a running flat there. That was crystal clear. So it had to go back up and break the top. That's why I was saying to you, this thing has to go back up because there's no other thing that we have seen, any other behavioral pattern we have seen except that behavioral pattern. If we have seen another one somewhere else, then we will be cautious. There are times when we have seen different patterns, and then we said, okay, it could develop into one of these 2 patterns. Let's just get proof of every one as we go every stage before you take a trade. That's it. That's all the voodoo we do. Right? So all of you guys have a great weekend. The rest of it, I'll try to see what I can do. This week, I'll be pretty busy, but sometime I'll do we're going to do a course in mid-November. So those of you who are interested, send me a Skype message. You have my Skype. It's Mangle457. If you don't have it, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me all over the place. Send me a message. I'll give you my Skypes and you can come there. Right? If you have capital and you want to be a serious trader, you should take the course. If you don't have the capital, just follow my free webinar. Right? But if you don't go lose $23,000 and then call me and say, hey, can you help me here now, please? I'll help you. But you know how that looks, right? You actually can see how that looks. You were trying to save $2,500 from learning this stuff, and then you go lose $23,000. Not looking good. The visual is not, I'll still help you. I would not refuse to help you, but the visual is not very nice. So, and I want you to learn to trade, and that hurts when you see people losing money. It really hurts. if you know what I've been through, you know why that develops a reflex in me that hurts. Because I've had people, mess with me that much, and I've lost much more because people were doing things to me. So I'm trying to help people as much as I can. If they're going to listen and learn, they will get the help. If they don't, well, I can't force them. I'll just put it out there for them to learn. So, okay, guys, all of you, you're great. Thank you for coming. I know it was a short notice. It was a thing. The rest of my traders, I'm sorry. Those who will be missing it on Sunday and like to come live, there's 100+ people who would like to come here live. They will come tomorrow and they will get a shock and they'll miss it. My apologies in advance. Watch this recording to the end so you get my apology. Right? I'll see all of you next week. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead of you. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.